Welcome to the Trust Factor Radio, bringing you interviews and insights to unlock the power of the subconscious mind to create authority, credibility, and trust. With your host, the authority architect and best-selling author, Neil Howe.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is your host, Neil Howe, and today my special guest is Dr. Terri Levine. And Dr. Levine is the founder of Heart-repreneur and is a business and executive coaching expert. She assists businesses worldwide with business growth, sales, and marketing, and she has more than 40 years of business experience, encompassing work with more than 5,000 business owners and entrepreneurs in a variety of industries. She is also the best-selling author of dozens of books. She has her own radio and TV show and is a keynote speaker. Terri has a passion for helping businesses to grow with her own personal experience gained while building multiple successful businesses from the ground up. She has created the Heart-repreneur cause, teaching business owners to do business heart to heart. Terri conducts training seminars, programs, and courses to help people develop business coaching skills. And through her processes, she loves helping entrepreneurs become more profitable and increase the bottom line. She is passionate about speaking to business owners about what tactics they can do to skyrocket their business. And with that, Dr. Terri, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very glad to be here with you.
Well, you have a vast array of experience over your 40 years growing businesses and helping people. And you have written dozens of books, like I just mentioned, but you have a new book that's coming out, which I really want to talk about, which is Conversion Equation, how to generate all the leads that you can handle. But before we get into that, give us a little bit of your background. You know, what got you into this position and what drove that passion that really makes you love helping entrepreneurs?
Thank you for asking. So this is my 8th multi-million-dollar business, and I'm really good at this one thing, which is business building, right? Like, I'm very myopic. I've been doing this for years. I tried my hand in corporate, and I was president of a national healthcare company here in the U.S., and while I was good at that, I really missed helping other businesses thrive. And so about 26 years ago, I left that behind, and I have now just focused on helping entrepreneurs around the world. It's my passion because I truly understand how to do it. And I've done it in 444 different industries. What I really get is that most people are doing marketing all wrong. And I have a mission to fix that, and that's my Heart-repreneur cause.
Yeah, there's so many different things that you can do with marketing. And then, of course, there's so many different people that you can listen to. But, you know, what kind of people is it that you work with? Is it in that health industry? Do you still love that and have a passion? Or you just help people across all kinds of industries?
So I do have a lot of clients in healthcare. I have a lot of physicians, chiropractors, dentists, dermatologists, naturopaths. And then I also have small business owners that own service businesses. So a coach, a consultant, a restaurant, a beauty salon. I'm not so good with widgets. That's not my thing. And as a Heart-repreneur, what I want to do is help your business expand so you help more people. So by helping you, you get to help more people. So the business has to be something that is heart-centered, really makes a difference in the world.
So we talked about there's all different kinds of marketing that people can do, but what do you say are the big, one or two problems that people have with marketing?
Well, the biggest problem is that people are marketing at people. And what I mean by that is they're just putting their messages out ad nauseum, which are, buy from me, I'm great, buy from my company, we're great. And that doesn't get people's attention. So that's mistake number one. It's the biggest mistake. And mistake number two is people think that marketing is advertising. And so they're throwing a lot of money on various platforms, whether it be pay-per-click or Facebook, whatever it might be. And mostly that's not doing anything and not bringing ideal prospects. So there is a formula, conversion equation, that actually is a solution. It's what works. It's how I developed all of my multi-million-dollar businesses and how my clients do the same thing.
So before we get into talking about the book, which I'm really excited about because, a lot of what I do is all about that conversion as well and getting a little bit of the personality of the person behind the business. So I'm excited to talk about that. But talk to me about the heart-to-heart part and what, Heart-repreneurs is.
So I was really disturbed in the world of business for a lot of years that everybody in business seemed to be treating people as a transaction. They would go hunt for someone, they'd bring them on, ka-ching, the cash register rings. They wouldn't focus on helping that person. They'd be looking and hunting for someone else. And I was really disturbed by that. And I was writing a book for one of my publishers, and we were in New York having a meeting about that book. I had a contract for the book when in the middle of the meeting, he says, "Don't write me this book." I'm like, "What?" And he said, "Terri, I've known you for 11 years, and I want you to write me a book on the way you do business. You're a heart-repreneur." That's the first time I'd ever had anyone use the word. And I remember leaving there. I had to take a train back to Philadelphia. It's a couple of hours. And the whole time on the train, I'm like processing this. And by the time I got home, Heart-repreneur resonated with me. I literally branded it. I trademarked it. I changed the name of my company. I got a logo because Heart-repreneur stands for doing business authentically, transparently, and in integrity. And it stops that transactional, let me just get another sale approach. And that is really what I stand for. I want to disrupt the way people do business today. That's Heart-repreneur.
Great. And, I talk to a lot of people. I've done hundreds of interviews with business people, and a lot of the messages that I hear are, it's not about the dollars. It's not about the making money. It's about making a difference. Do you see that across the board with some of the people that you see? They're too focused on maybe making the money, and when they change to, actually making a difference in people's lives, that they have more success that way?
100% see that. So most of the clients who've come to me over these years come from a transactional background. They may have been taught through courses, through training, through other mentors, coaches, consultants that, the magic bullet is just go get more money, go get more money. And when they slow that whole process down and they really start saying, how can I be of service? How can my messages just help people? How can I make a true difference? And allowing sales to come organically, not only have their businesses grown exponentially, they actually feel like they're making a bigger difference in the world. And so they're more satisfied with what they're doing. And that's what I'm here to do.
Definitely. It's definitely about building that trust. And the more trust that you have, the more likely people are to buy from you, which is part of the conversion process. So talk to me about the conversion equation. What problem is it going to solve for those clients that you serve?
So as I started watching clients over the years, and I've worked with about 6,000, what I started to notice is they really didn't know that there was a formula for marketing. And so a lot of things they had learned about marketing were all wrong. And many of the things went out in the 70s and they were still trying to use the same things. And I said, look, I have a proven formula. I named it conversion equation. It's formulaic. It's based on 4 very simple principles. Some of it is psychology of understanding how people buy. It's very simple. The first step of the formula is you must interrupt. So people are busy, right? We're kind of in downtime. Our brains are doing habitual things, just like if you've ever driven home from somewhere and gone, I don't even remember the drive. That's when your brain is in downtime. It's just doing a habitual thing. So if it's scrolling on Facebook or if you're reading your Gmail and there's ads, your brain's in downtime. You're really not getting it. So you must have a message that interrupts and actually interrupts your ideal prospective client, patient, or customer, not just anyone. So part number 1 is interrupt is the first part of the formula. So now you interrupted someone, their brain goes into uptime, all subconsciously. It'll go right back into downtime unless the second part of the formula is engage, unless the brain finds something to engage with that's either really familiar or really unusual, or solves a problem. So if, I want to lose 10 pounds and your message got my attention and interrupted me, now instantly you must engage me and say something about how you can back up the claim that you just made. So that's the second part. The third part, and this is a big one, is now you need to educate. And most people, Neil, miss this. They're instantly trying to promote something. Go buy my book, go opt in, get a consult. People don't want that. So instead, you're going to educate. You're going to create some value for me. You're going to help me. And then the fourth step is offer, and not offer something that's go buy this. Offer something no risk or low risk. Offer a consumer awareness guide, offer a training, offer a checklist, a template of high value, and begin to establish a relationship. Those are the four pieces to conversion equation.
Yeah, so it is all about that relationship. And, I always come back to the old adage is people buy from people they know, like, and trust. But, like you said, when it's transactional, people don't go through that whole process of trying to develop some kind of relationship because it is harder and it might take longer to do that. But ultimately, these are the things that work and, get the results. So let's break them down a little bit more. Let's talk about the interrupt. What kind of message is, going to stand out and interrupt them and take them out of that stage that they're in where they're just, habitually going through life?
So you need to address in one sentence, think of it like a headline, whether it's written, whether it's verbal, whether it's auditory, it doesn't really matter. It could be a video. You need to address their exact problem and show you have a solution. So if I wanted to help a woman between the ages of 25 and 35 look younger, my headline could be the actual proven way to get rid of wrinkles in 7 days or less. So if you're scrolling and you're not that target audience, you're not that interested. If this is your problem and you see a solution, your brain will go, "Oh, that's interesting." And so I instantly have interrupted you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so once you have that interruption, the engage. How do you engage? Do you start with a story? That's usually a good way to engage somebody.
I think of engagement more as a sub-headline that backs up your claims. So I might then say, this formula has been proven to work on over 2,000 women just like you and has a 100% unconditional guarantee. You have nothing to lose. So now I become curious, and the whole goal of to keep my brain in uptime, and I like to use curiosity there.
So when you are creating these messages, is this, like copywriting? Is it just, whether it's a message on Facebook or Instagram or whether it's a website, is this what you help people do, is get these messages together so that they can use it to brand themselves?
I do it literally to bring them sales. These messages will literally help you get sales. I have a brand new client. She's with me 16 days, and she went from 0 leads to 19 leads and 7 sales. Okay, just by using this. We use it in her email. We use it on her website. We use it on social media posts. We use it when she just did a lunchtime networking, and they asked, "What do you do?" And she used this. We use it in blog posts. We use it on radio shows. We use it in articles. It's used everywhere. So once you learn the conversion equation and you do it right, you just keep repeating it. And it works by what I call reverse marketing. The right people raise their hand and come to you. You don't have to hunt for them. They find you and they say, "Oh, what you have is interesting. I might want that." And could not have better prospects than those prospects.
Definitely. It's better than chasing people down or cold calling or even spending money on ads. But let's talk about the latter too, because the messaging obviously is really important. And, I like to place a lot of emphasis myself on that. becoming the educator and the advocate for the success of your client. So talk to me about the education part. What kind of material or messages should they be putting out during that education phase?
So the first thing I have every one of my client family members do is develop a consumer awareness guide. And I've got a template and they just kind of fill in their information. I'll give you an example of this. So I have a client, Chris, and Chris works with property managers of condos, and he has a proprietary cleaning process. So I helped him create a consumer awareness guide. It's called something like the 7 deadly mistakes you can make when hiring a cleaning company for your condo. So first of all, his target audience is very interested in this. They don't want to make those mistakes. Second of all, it really is informational. We go through the 7 mistakes that people commonly make that are a waste of their condo association's money and really don't make a difference. The end of the report is very simple. It simply says this report was brought to you by, and he lists the name of his company, where we specialize in, which are the opposite of those 7 mistakes. These are 7 things that you would want, and then gives a way to contact him to get a complimentary cleaning assessment, or sometimes he even gives away a free cleaning. So it's value with, and then I just wove in the no or low risk offer, which is the 4th part, just woven right into the consumer awareness guide.
So obviously education is extremely important. And once you've shown that value to people, what kind of ratio is it that you put out education and then include an offer in there? Do you always have an offer after each piece of education, or not so many times?
You always have a no or low risk offer, because otherwise I'm telling you something like this. I make great lasagna. It's fantastic. It's fabulous. It's so good. Let me tell you all about it. And then I walk away and you're like, wow, I would have loved to have tasted that. You have no way of raising your hand saying, I might want that. So you always give people a no or low risk offer. And this is a mistake I see. I was just looking in someone's Facebook post today. I don't know the woman. She's in another group with me. And she made this post about something she does that a lot of the women were commenting on in this particular female organization. And I could tell they're raising their hands, but you don't know they're raising their hands because you didn't give them a way to say me. And so I just private messaged her and said, I don't know if you know this, but just so far today, you literally have 16 interested people, but you didn't give them a way to try you on, no or low risk. You always give people that, or otherwise you're selfishly holding the secret lasagna recipe. And instead, without selling, you just say, if you want it, here it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. But I think that is a major problem that people have, is actually asking for the offer. Do you see that?
I think that is a huge problem. And I'll tell you what I tell my client family members. This is how I got over that, because I had the same problem in my first business. I really did think about if somebody traveled to my home and if they were tired and had a long journey, what do I do when I open the door? I typically say, can I get you something to drink, or can I get you something to eat, right? I just want to make them feel comfortable. If they say no, I don't overcome that objection. I don't take it personally. Maybe they're not thirsty or not hungry. I simply put my hand out and I say, would you like? And that's all. And if you don't ask people, would you like, and I'll be very blunt about this, you probably shouldn't own a business. You probably need to have a job, because people in business, their job is to market their business. You're not a chiropractor. You're not a coach. You're not an author. You're marketing books. You're marketing chiropractic. You're marketing consulting, coaching, whatever it is. So you have to be willing to make that offer. And again, I really believe if you have a product or service that you know can help and you're not offering it, in my view, you're actually being selfish.
That's a good way to look at it. I have that same opinion. If you're not doing, first of all, I think you have to believe in what it is that you're doing. Whether you're a chiropractor, a doctor, a dentist, or whatever field that you might be in, you've got to believe in what it is that you're doing. And if you have that belief, then it is your duty to get that message out to as many people as possible, because ultimately, you're going to be helping them. You're going to be doing them a favor. And, if you're not, you're being selfish and you're holding your skills back. So I really like that. Let's talk about some of those people that you mentioned, the doctors, the chiropractors, these professionals that go to school. They're in there for 4, 5, 7 years, that they're taking all these courses to get skillful at whatever occupation it is that they do. But there's no marketing. There's no marketing there, and that's the number one thing in business. Do you just see a lot of people that have no idea how to do this marketing stuff?
Oh, I see that all the time, and I relate to them because my first degree was a master's degree in speech language pathology. So you come out of school after 6 years. I opened my own clinic, and I'm sitting there going, how am I going to get patients? Where are they going to come from? I had no training. I had to figure it out on my own. And the first business that I owned, man, that was tough. I finally got the business to $1 million, but the lessons I learned, the time and the energy. What I see every single day are people that talk to me that are wasting their time, energy, and money on marketing that doesn't work. Their messages are not good. Their content and their education is not hitting the mark. And they're either really inconsistent in what they're doing, or they spent a lot of money on something like Facebook ads or pay-per-click, and it didn't get results. And then they're scratching their head and they go, I thought Facebook ads worked. And I say, you know what? It doesn't necessarily mean they work. They work sometimes for some people, and they work with a lot of money behind them consistently. I have a certification, a master's certification in guerrilla marketing. Was trained under J. Conrad Levinson. So guerrilla marketing is all about not spending a dime on marketing and advertising. Mm-hmm. So I'm not a big fan of all these ads and all this. There's ways to do this like I do organically. If you learn the formula, if you just go out and haphazardly try to do it, that's why most people are failing. And no, they don't have training. I don't care what you're in. When I later got my PhD in clinical psychology, thank goodness I'd already established a lot of multi-million-dollar businesses and knew how to do it, because I asked the question once. So if people are starting their own clinic, how do they get business? The professor had no clue. They didn't know. It's not being taught. In the conversion equation, I really believe needs to be taught in college curriculum.
Definitely. It would be nice. The whole build it and they will come doesn't work. People haven't figured that one out by now, I guess. You think it would be part of the college curriculum, but sadly, it is not. Let's talk about the people that are actually running the business. I know a lot of people that are running the business think they just don't have time to do this marketing, and they always hire it out to somebody else with varied results. What's your opinion on that? Should they be doing this marketing themselves?
Great question. The number one function that I believe you have as a business owner is to do your own marketing. And listen, I was vice president of marketing for 2 very large national organizations, and I brought them a lot of business. The truth is, I got the founders to be involved in the marketing. They'd never done marketing before. They're like, no, I don't do that. I'm like, no, I'm going to need your voice. I'm going to need your face. I'm going to need you. You as a business owner, in particular, if you're a smaller business owner, you must do your marketing. You can't pass that off to someone. It's got to be your voice. And as you said earlier, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. We hear that all the time, but I really mean that. I have people raise their hand and join my programs just because they've watched my television show, they've seen me, because they see me on Facebook Live, and they get familiar enough with me that they're interested. If somebody else represented my company, they wouldn't be interested. This is a very critical point. When your business gets larger, so also pay attention to this, I work with very large Fortune 100 companies along the journey too. They're like, no, I'm the CEO, I don't do that. And my experience is they need to still have some involvement, because there is a tie to them, the mission, the vision, the strategy. So I believe that, number one, you always have to be marketing. And number two, marketing cannot be outsourced.
Very good. Great advice. Now, what about those introverts that don't necessarily want to put themselves out there? What solutions do you have for them?
So one of the people on my team, she's probably the most introverted person I've literally ever met. I really mean that. She used to get really nervous if there was a camera in the room, video. She does speaking with me, and she used to want to hide in the back. And I basically said to her what I would say to any introvert. Choosing to be an introvert is a choice. It's a subconscious choice. It may shock your audience and may shock you. I am actually an introvert. That is my preferred style. I prefer to be alone. I prefer to be in quiet. However, I understand that if I own a business, I must be the persona of the business. Now, you don't have to be my personality. You can be your own self. You can be quiet. You still have to be willing to be the voice of a business. And just being blunt, I would say to someone if they said to me, yeah, well, I never want to put myself out there and I want to create a business. No, you probably need to have a job or have a business partner who is more extroverted. And again, I am a complete introvert who can force herself to be an extrovert when needed because I care a lot about getting my products and services to others and truly helping them and making a difference. And I can have a quiet mouth about that.
I love it. And that's, it definitely comes across in all the content that I've seen about you and talking to you right now, that you definitely have that passion for just helping people out. So you've worked with, you said, close to 6,000 businesses now and really helping them develop that Heart-repreneur and conversation equation process in their businesses. Are there any that really stick out? Tell me a little bit about them, what position they were in when they came to you, what you were able to do for them, and ultimately what the outcome was for them.
I'm going to give you, they come to me kind of in this way, 3 very different ones. So the first one, her name is Mia Redrick, and Mia came to me about 17 years ago. She came to one of my events. She said she had this business idea, but it had been shut down by every consultant, including SCORE here in the U.S., and she was told it was a bad idea. I listened to the idea and I said, I'm going to tell you very frankly, Mia, that's a multi-million-dollar idea. I can help you with it. And if I fail, I'll give you your money back. And instead, I'm going to take the idea and run with it because I know it's a winner. She trusted in me. I think the first year we got the business to about 100,000, the second year, 300, then it went to $1 million. And she's consistently doing millions every single year, literally by following the conversion equation in everything she does. I'm going to give you another completely different example. So this gentleman, John, came to me. He was CEO of a pretty large national corporation and just feeling really burnt out. And he had this dream about being an executive leadership consultant. But he said, how do I do that part-time when I still work full-time? And I showed him in 2 hours a week how we could get the business started. We built a solid foundation. So in 4 months, he was able to quit. In 5 months, his business was doing about $600,000, and he was only working 20 hours a week.
Wow.
And then one last one, because this one's fresh on my mind and so exciting. So Jackie came to me. She's very young. She's in her 20s, right out of college. And she said, I don't want to get a traditional job. My parents think I'm nuts. I don't. I want to help young people like me look at how they can build a business. And she already built like a little business on Instagram. And so I said, you're going to be a business consultant. You're going to follow in my shoes, but you're going to be a business consultant to people in their early 20s. That's your niche. She, within, I think it was 6 weeks, did 68,000, 8 weeks, 128,000. I've lost track of her. She's able to buy a brand new house for her and her fiance, to plan this amazing wedding, which hopefully will happen soon with, this pandemic, who knows, even to come up with the honeymoon of her dreams. She has all that cash, and she's really making a difference for the young people she's serving.
Wow, I love it. I just love to hear those success stories. You make a major difference in people's businesses, but also people's lives. I mean, these kinds of things completely change people's lives. So getting connected with Terri is a great idea. Tell me about the conversion equation. How can people get a hold of that book? And also, how do you like people to connect with you if they want to find out more?
Great. So I'm doing something unusual with this book. This is my 37th book. I'm an avid writer. And I had a publisher give me an offer for an advance on the book. And then I had a crowdfunding platform come to me and say, don't take the offer, let's crowdfund your book. So I'm doing something I've never done. I'm crowdfunding the book. And when you get a copy of the book, what happens is, number one, it's a charitable contribution. All the money goes to my foundation for children. So it's tax write-off for your business. That's number one. Number two, there's all kinds of bonuses. You get 10 books, there's crazy bonuses, 20, and it goes up from there. You get the books, tax deduction. You can either sell the books when you get them, so you make all your money back, or if you have a community of clients that you want to help in marketing and business and sales, friends, family, and organization, you could donate the books back. So the book is on a crowdfunding platform, which is called Publishizer. So it's publish, the word publish, and then IZER, publishizer.com/conversion-equation. And you'll see the bonuses. They're crazy. You can also connect with me. I'm very, very active on social media, primarily on Facebook and my group, Heart-repreneurs with Terri Levine, or through my website, which is heartrepreneur.com.
Well, I'll make sure to leave all that information as well in the show notes for this show. But I really appreciate you being on with me and telling us about your journey and just how you've helped thousands and thousands of business people. And obviously, I encourage everybody to go out and search for Dr. Terri Levine and plug into her stuff, because it's really useful. You deliver a lot of very helpful free content, which just to consume that is going to help a lot of people. But if there's something that we haven't talked about today that you just want to leave us with, maybe the last piece of advice, what would that be, Terri?
The last thing that I'd like to say is always be marketing. Always. Most of your time as an entrepreneur is not to be working in your business, right? Michael Gerber said it best. You need to work on your business. And the biggest thing that you can do that has the biggest return on investment is knowing how to do marketing right. And that is what the conversion equation will teach you.
Excellent. Well, I have ordered my copy. I look forward to reading it when it comes in, and everybody listening, make sure you go out and grab a copy as well. Dr. Terri Levine, thank you very much for being my guest on Trust Factor Radio today.
Thank you.
And to our listening audience, if you like what you hear, hit that like button and share, and we will see you next time on the show.
You've been listening to the Trust Factor Radio with Neil Howe. To learn about the resources mentioned in the show and to listen to past episodes, go to thetrustfactorradio.com. To get a copy of the book, The Trust Factor, go to thetrustfactorbook.com. If you are ready to act now and build your authority, credibility, and trust, schedule a consultation with Neil at theauthorityarchitect.com.